Today, we'll see if it's worth it to buy Nintendo systems the very first day they are released. What is up guys, my name is Chase, and as humans, we all know that first impressions are very important. And I also think that is true for video games. The launch of a brand new video game or a brand new video game system can actually make or break its lifespan. So today I thought it would be fun to turn back the clock and take a look at all of the Nintendo system launches that I've experienced. Let's start off with the Nintendo DS, which launched November 21st, 2004. The Nintendo DS was very exciting because I guess this is the first Nintendo system I got brand new and actually remember. It was Christmas 2004 and my two older brothers and I all had a present that was shaped very similarly. We all ripped them open at the same time and sure enough, we all got Nintendo DS's for Christmas. I remember how cool and futuristic it seemed that the Nintendo DS had a touchscreen. Obviously, looking back at it today, we can kind of laugh about how small the screen was and that they included a stylus to use with it. But back then, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Actually being able to touch the screen, like I used to get yelled at for trying to touch the screen on the TV. There was also PictoChat, which let you draw some possibly sus drawings and then send them to someone nearby who also had a DS. My two older brothers and my two cousins and I all had a fun time playing with PictoChat whenever we went on family vacations. And for some reason, I also thought it was really cool that the Nintendo DS had a clock. I don't know, I just thought it was really cool that there was a device that actually told the time digitally and the second hand actually moved in real time. Like, that was the coolest thing about the DS for me. As for actual games, the three games that my brothers and I got were Super Mario 64 DS, Metroid Prime First Hunt, and Asphalt Urban GT. I mean, I guess we can just kind of disregard Asphalt. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, the fact that you could play a racing game on the go and it actually had graphics like this, at the time, it was wild that you could play this game portably. I guess the same thing could be said about Metroid Prime First Hunt. Personally, I was never really into this game. This was more so a game for my older brothers to have. I didn't really know what the heck was going on. I'm not gonna lie, to this day, I still don't know what the heck is going on in Metroid Prime First Hunt. For me, it was all about Super Mario 64 DS. When I was a kid, I thought Super Mario 64 was all about just Mario's face here on the title screen. The fact that you could actually like pull on his nose and his ears and stuff, I thought that was really cool for a game. But no, it actually turns out that there is a whole nother game besides just Mario's face. And once again, for the time, the fact that you could play Super Mario 64 on the go, that seemed so cool to me. Like, that was a game that only belonged on the TV. Next up, let's talk about the Nintendo Wii, which launched November 19th, 2006. I remember our family got a Nintendo Wii for Christmas 2006 back when it was still impossible to find the latest video game systems like the Wii and the PlayStation 3. Somehow my mom managed to buy one for us. Unfortunately, it may have been through a scalper on eBay, but hey, I think that just goes to show how far my mom would go for us kids. Now obviously, when we're talking about the Wii, we just have to talk about the main attraction, which was the Mii Maker. The Mii Maker was always so much fun. I feel like it was one of the few times where a video game was able to make a whole room of family and friends feel very involved and entertained. I remember so many times when me and my friends or me and my family would just play around in the Mii Maker, either try to actually make Miis that looked like us, or just try to make the most ridiculous Mii ever. I think it was genius that Nintendo included the Mii Maker in the Wii's operating system. It almost completely takes away from the fact that there were actually games for the Wii, which once again, of course we have to talk about Wii Sports. What a revolutionary and just impactful phenomenon Wii Sports was. There were so many play sessions with family or friends, whether it was Wii Sports Tennis or bowling. To this day, Wii Sports was like the perfect launch game to have with a Nintendo system at the time. There was also The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which was technically a GameCube game but was brought over to the Wii. Personally, I still have yet to even play Twilight Princess, but I think it's very interesting to have that almost like dichotomy of Wii Sports for all of the casuals and Twilight Princess for the more die-hard Nintendo fans. Then I ended up getting the original Nintendo 3DS on March 27th, 2011. I vividly remember the day that my mom bought me a Nintendo 3DS. We were out shopping at the mall. Specifically, I remember we were shopping for furniture, and there's this one GameStop in the mall that I feel like has been there since the dawn of time. We walked in there because, you know, we were kids, like there was no way we were going to the mall and not go to GameStop, and there were literally only 2 Nintendo 3DSs left, one blue and one black. And I was super lucky that my mom bought the blue 3DS for me and the black 3DS for my older brother. And the 3DS was actually pretty exciting because it was the first Nintendo handheld that actually had a real operating system. I guess technically the DSi also had that, but the 3DS felt like the DSi operating system, but even better. There was some weird gimmicky built-in software with the 3DS. For example, face raiders, where you would put faces into the game and they would show up around the room using AR, as well as the actual AR cards that came with the Nintendo 3DS. Looking back, I think it's such a weird decision that Nintendo decided to include these AR cards with the 3DS. Coming home from GameStop and playing these 2 built-in augmented reality games, even at the time, I feel like I probably appreciated how cool it was, but it's not something that I would play on the regular. As for actual 3DS games, I remember it was really hard to find games that I actually even cared about. The launch games that I got with my Nintendo 3DS were Rayman 3D, which is actually a remake of an older Rayman game, Madden NFL Football, just because I thought it would be cool to actually have a Madden game on a portable, as well as Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. It's safe to say that after the launch of the 3DS, I never went back to any of these games. It was honestly a very sad launch for the 3DS. I was also lucky or unlucky enough to get the Nintendo Wii U when it launched on November 12th, 2012. So I picked up the Nintendo Wii U on launch day from Best Buy. I remember it was very interesting because the Wii U launch, at least where I live, it was not like any of the video game system launches that we see today where it's next to impossible to get any of the systems on launch. With the Wii U, I was able to pre-order it from Best Buy either the night before or the morning of. Of course, there was the black deluxe set of the Wii U as well as the white basic set. So me and my mom went to GameStop this morning and were able to get the basic set pretty easily. We got my deluxe set from Best Buy, and overall it was just a very easy experience, which I think may just go to show how sad the Wii U's life was. As for launch games for the Wii U, there was Nintendo Land, which came bundled in with the deluxe set. I think Nintendo wanted Nintendo Land to have the same effect that Wii Sports did on the Wii, and for the most part, I will say that Nintendo Land is a very fun party game. To this day, I think you can get a lot of fun just out of the Mario Chase mini game in Nintendo Land. There was also New Super Mario Bros. U, which was basically the Mario representation for the launch of the Wii U. Scribblenauts Unlimited was a very fun and cute game where you type stuff on the Wii U gamepad and it comes to life in the game. I also thought it was very interesting that Nintendo was trying to appeal to the hardcore demographic of gamers. You know, these guys. So I decided to pick up Call of Duty Black Ops 2 just because I thought it was very funny to have Call of Duty on a Nintendo console, but also Black Ops 2 made use of the Wii U gamepad in a very interesting way where you could be playing with 2 players and 1 player is on the TV and 1 player plays on the gamepad. After many years of arguments over screen looking in Halo, I feel like that was a very welcomed feature. And there was also Zombie U, which was a zombie survival horror game that basically made use of all of the gimmicks in the Wii U gamepad. I know we all have our laughs at making fun of the Wii U, but I will say a possibly unpopular opinion. I actually really liked the launch of the Wii U, at least in terms of games. The Wii U launch day experience in terms of the actual system was not fun because I remember having to spend literally like 5 hours just waiting for the gosh darn thing to update. But in terms of games, like there was something for everybody. I think especially after the very lackluster launch of the 3DS, the Wii U felt like just a solid representation of all of the Nintendo games. With a new Mario game and some third-party titles sprinkled in there, I was actually quite satisfied with the launch games for the Wii U. And finally, I picked up Nintendo's latest console, the Nintendo Switch, on March 3rd, 2017. The launch of the Nintendo Switch I think is one that I will remember for the rest of my life. And funny enough, I actually have the whole thing chronicled on this YouTube channel. I remember the night of the January 2017 Nintendo Switch presentation, when the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch randomly went up on Best Buy. I was lucky enough to somehow get into those pre-orders, but just to be safe, I also drove to my local GameStop and put in a pre-order there. I somehow was also able to get into the pre-orders at GameStop. And so when March 3rd actually rolled around, I went to GameStop to go pick up my Nintendo Switch. And I actually had a huge drama with GameStop where, because I was still using my mom's GameStop Pro membership, her name was on my Nintendo Switch pre-order, so I could not even pick up the Nintendo Switch. And bless my mom, she actually took a break from work to come get my Nintendo Switch for me. And yeah, it was just a very chaotic morning for me when I was getting my Nintendo Switch. I definitely did the thing where I would be playing my Nintendo Switch on the TV and then randomly take the Switch out of the dock just to see it happen again. Like just doing that over and over because I thought it was the coolest thing ever. As for actual games, there was 1-2 Switch, which once again, I feel like was Nintendo's attempt at trying to recapture the magic of Wii Sports. I feel like it did not work out as well this time around. It's pretty wild to think that 1-2 Switch launched at $50 US. There was Snipper Clips Cut It Out Together, which was a digital game. It basically showed off how you could use a single Joy-Con on its side. That was a really cute and interesting little like puzzle game. And of course the big one, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I feel like at this point Nintendo had finally learned that they need a big title to launch with their new systems. And Breath of the Wild was definitely a good game to launch with for the Nintendo Switch. It perfectly showed the idea of the Nintendo Switch in that you could bring this massive world of Hyrule anywhere you go, whether it's on the TV or portably. And luckily that game was massive enough to last us until the next big Nintendo game came out. It felt like the launch of the Nintendo Switch was much more geared towards actual gamers rather than just like sort of the casuals. And for the Nintendo Switch, I feel like that was a good move on Nintendo's part. Every time a new Nintendo system comes out, it's just a very exciting time. We're going from the safety of the previous Nintendo system and stepping into the unknown with Nintendo's newest system. And now we just wait for the follow-up to the Nintendo Switch. Let me know in the comments which Nintendo system launches you guys have experienced. And speaking of which, if you want to see my experience of getting the Nintendo Switch on launch day, feel free to check out the video below. For now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chase and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!